All right. Yeah, so Volvo quotes the 0 to 60 of this car at 6 seconds, and honestly, I see it. What is up, guys? Today, Auto Joe back here with a 2015 Volvo S80. And so this car was brought to us by First International Auto Group out of Merrimack, New Hampshire. So first wanted to give them a quick shout. So to begin this video, let's talk about some specs. So of course this Volvo S80 was first introduced as their big luxury sedan, right? This is the largest one that competes with that of like the Lexus GS350, the E-Class Mercedes, not necessarily large enough for the S-Class, and some other luxury sedans such as those. We have the T6 Platinum 2015.5, which was of course the mid-year refresh of the S80. This one features the turbocharged inline 6-cylinder that makes 300 horsepower, 325 pound-feet of torque, and a 6-speed automatic with advanced quick shift. And basically what they said is that in sport mode, it shifts approximately 20 to 30% faster from second to sixth, and as much as 50% faster in terms of first to second gear change. And that is resulting in a 0 to 60 of quoted for 6.0 seconds compared to 6.3 seconds in normal mode. And the T6 is all-wheel drive only. The T5, you get front-wheel drive, and the T6, you get all-wheel drive. And so this car altogether weighs just over 4,000 pounds. So quite a heavy car. This exterior is nothing to write home about. It's a pretty standard looking Volvo. We have chrome trim that kind of surrounds the car. We have this silver color, which kind of blends with the chrome, honestly. And of course, you can just tell that this car is quite big. These 18-inch Magni alloys pair well with the design of the car. And of course, we have these dual exhaust tips in the back. But without further ado, let's get onto the road and see how this compares to the Lexus GS350, which we reviewed a few months ago on the channel. Hey guys, Auto Joe here. Before we begin the video, I just want to bring your attention to the fact that I now have a membership on my channel. Yes, you can be an auto enthusiast on Auto Joe. For $2.99 a month, you get early access to videos, you get priority replies to comments, which I reply to all comments anyways, but you can be first. And of course, you get member exclusive videos, which are coming soon. But so if you'd like to support me and the growth of this channel, I encourage you to do so with that. But with that being said, please like, please subscribe, and enjoy this video. So for a long time now, I've been curious to see how these S80s perform. As many of you know, I'm a very big fan of large sedans. I feel like crossovers in a lot of people's lives are unnecessary, unless you have children or go on a lot of road trips where you're carrying around a lot of cargo. You most of the time really just need a sedan, which are inherently more efficient, better looking, and of course get better driving dynamics a lot of the times. So right away when you get in this Volvo S80, you can tell it's of high quality. We have leather on the door cards, we have lots of high quality materials, and of course we have buttons for basically everything in this car. There's not a lot of inputs that go according to the screen. We have lots of different high quality dials, and of course buttons to control things such as even dialing a number if we connect our phone via Bluetooth. We also have a lot of features in this car, such as heated seats, a heated steering wheel, which I am really taking advantage of today, and we also have this nice sunroof. Opens up and you get some nice air and light into the car. The steering wheel itself is also of high quality. It's leather wrapped and feels quite large in your hands. I will say that I would like the steering wheel to be a little more thin, especially where you put your hands on 10 and 2. It's just kind of not necessarily ergonomic, and on long road trips it might bother you. Talking about the steering, we actually have a very light steering input. you almost don't really feel where your tires are on the road, and it's kind of not necessarily off-putting, but I prefer the steering in that GS350 a lot more. Giving it some gas, the acceleration is quite instant, and this turbo really doesn't have much sign of lag at all. The 6-speed automatic transmission is fairly quick. I will say that I'm just in normal mode. I haven't even tried out sport yet. So for 2015, this car has a lot of tech. It has this early day lane keep assist system, brake assist and park assist, which we talked about before. And honestly, I don't necessarily trust these early day systems, especially compared to the modern ones that are just so much better. If I were to own this car, I'd probably turn a lot of those off and just kind of drive it like it's a traditional analog experience. As far as ride quality, it's nice and soft. The suspension setup really just glides over all sorts of road imperfections, and even the larger bumps, this is quite tame as well. But we're going to test it on the worst road in Merrimack, New Hampshire today. We definitely have to. Compared to the Lexus GS350 we drove, I would say that this suspension is quite a bit softer, but that one had lots better driving characteristics when it comes to, you know, tighter steering, a more like a better sense of road feel than this car has. I almost feel like this is meant to be just kind of a highway cruiser, whereas that car kind of could handle itself on back roads a lot better. We have a Harman Kardon speaker system in here, which is a 650 watt system, and it has 12 speakers. I tested it out on my way to the outlets, and the speakers work great. I didn't connect my phone, so I didn't get to try my own music, but the radio comes in just fine, and really no complaints there whatsoever. So we do have a digital gauge cluster and this tiny little screen in here, which kind of date the car. 2015 was a time where auto manufacturers were starting to figure out that you could throw screens in instead of analog gauges and, you know, more buttons. And I feel like it was kind of like, you know, the middle school ages when you were a kid and you were kind of going through puberty and things were awkward for you. That's kind of what the interior styling of this car reminds me of in that way. But we do have physical buttons for most of our controls in here. Not really much that goes through the screen. I will say that the screen shows your temperature and the stage in which your heated seat is on. And of course, you know, basically your fan speed and which way the air is going. So, you know, standard displays, but nothing that you actually have to dig through the screen to figure out. One of my favorite parts of this Volvo S80 are actually these seats. They're leather, and of course they're very contorted to my body. I fit in them really well. They have memory adjustments and power, of course, so you can really find a nice driver's position for yourself quite easily. And I could see myself going on long road trips with these seats and being quite comfortable. As far as sound deadening, it's really quiet in here. I feel like you could have a conversation at normal volume, even on the highway, no problem. It reminds me a lot of the refinement and sound deadening in my Ford Mach-E. And honestly, I feel like this has a leg up on the GS350 when it comes to overall refinement in the interior. And although I'm sitting up here in the front, these back seats are quite comfortable as well. You get plenty of legroom even sitting behind myself. I'm only 5'9", so I'm not the tallest guy, but I'd imagine even if you had, you know, someone who's 6 foot or above sitting behind me, they would have plenty of legroom as well. As far as height, they might struggle with the slope of the back seat, but they will still be able to fit back there no problem. Alright, so we are turning onto the worst road in Merrimack, New Hampshire, and we can kind of get a sense of how this car performs on these bumpy roads. I'm I'm going to approach the worst part at about 20 miles an hour like I always do, and let's see how it goes. All right, fairly soft. We definitely still get some jarring movement, especially, you know, the soft suspension may be soft, but it doesn't quite handle those really harsh bumps without kind of wiggling you back and forth a little bit. So I would say it's better than the GS350, but not quite S-Class level. All right, so let's kick it into sport. Wow. And immediately the transmission responds. It downshifts me and obviously gets me in a lower gear, and my RPMs shoot up right away. And as far as responsiveness, I can really feel that transmission shifting quicker than it did when we were in normal. All right. Yeah. So Volvo quotes the 0 to 60 of this car at 6 seconds, and honestly, I see it. The engine sounds really nice, and those shifts are quite snappy for a 6-speed auto especially. And it says 6 seconds, but I feel it's quicker than that. I'm very impressed with how, you know, the transmission really wakes up when you put it in sport mode. I feel like a lot of cars have a sport mode, but they don't necessarily do a whole lot when you throw them into sport. I mean, those shifts might be a little more aggressive, and they might keep you in a lower gear for a longer period of time. But I feel like this car really has a difference in the tuning of the transmission between normal and sport, and it's quite impressive. I feel like if you were to throw this tuning setup of this transmission, and maybe the whole transmission itself, into that GS350 or that E-Class that we drove of the same year, I honestly think those would be better cars for it. It doesn't quite fit this Volvo S80 just because of the steering being so light and not really having feel. You know, this isn't really a driver's car. It's a car that'll keep you comfortable on long road trips, and you have plenty of tack in here. But I'm just kind of conflicted because I wouldn't want to necessarily own one of these just because of the steering, which is disappointing. But overall, it's still a lovely car. So due to ever-increasing wants and desires of a larger car, people are often opting for even smaller crossovers rather than sedans because of the hatch, because of the, you know, the ground clearance, and of course the added comfort in the interior just from having more space and a better hip position. But obviously this S80 is going to be just as comfortable as a lot of those SUVs. And we still have a fairly usable trunk. The trunk space is quite big. It has plenty of room on either side. I just think the one area where it kind of struggles is the access into the cabin. When you fold down these seats, you could definitely get a ladder through there, but nothing any wider. You know, hatchbacks have that advantage of being able to, you know, throw a desk in there when you need to. And trunks, although they can store lots of stuff, they don't have that easy access to the cabin a lot of the times. But to conclude my thoughts on this Volvo S80, it's not the best looking car. I still feel like the GS350 and the E-Class at the time were better looking sedans overall, but this one rides the best. We have a very soft suspension setup. We have an incredibly quiet interior with tons of sound deadening. We have very high quality physical buttons, which a lot of people are seeking nowadays. And this 6-speed automatic transmission paired to this 6-cylinder turbo engine is just a thrill to drive. It's a lot of fun. Just the one place where this car lacks and isn't my favorite is the light steering. It's just incredibly light, and I'm not too happy about it. But with that being said, this is a lovely option here at First International Auto Group. I definitely recommend this Volvo S80, and they actually still have that GS350 for sale too. But with that being said, thank you for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and I will see you all next time on Auto Joe. Bye-bye.